Glenn Cantrell is with SEMO Electric. Morning, Glenn. How are you?
Good. How are you?
It's been many moons since you and I have shared a microphone together.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Glenn,
we won't say how long, but it's been a while.
Glenn and I were on the air 20 years ago together. Yeah. My gosh, I can't believe it's been 20 years.
I know. I've got kids almost as that.
I know. I see your pictures of your kids on Facebook, and I think he ain't old enough to have kids that old.
I know. And so you hired me in high school.
Yeah. And it was your first radio job.
Yeah.
And you're still in communications. I'm glad
Absolutely,
to see that. Yeah, with SEMO Electric. Now, how long have you been with SEMO Electric?
7 years, something like that, yeah.
Wow. So what's going on with this EPA thing we've been talking about? There's some challenges going on, right?
Well, we've got a lot of challenges going on in the electrical industry anyway. Trying to keep up with demand, and in here in a minute we're going to talk about high bills. That's a major concern right now because of the weather.
Sure.
But with the EPA, what we have is we have an administration that has given the EPA some pretty strong powers, basically to enact some regulation that Congress failed to pass a few years ago. And the the regulation that the EPA wants to enact, in effect, would make it impossible to build a coal power plant. Once that regulation is passed, we feel that they will then try to enact that same regulation on existing plants. And the only thing that we would be able to do is to close the plants because it would cost too much, number one. And number two, really probably is number one, is that the technology doesn't exist yet to do what the EPA wants us to do.
Well, first off, they want to close coal plants, right?
Right, and that's what they're
new coal plants from being built.
They want to stop the new coal plants from being built, which is very difficult right now to begin with. We have whenever we want to build a plant, and I say we, the electrical industry wants to build a power plant. We immediately get hit with lawsuits from different places, environmental groups that don't want that power plant built. And then the cost continues to rise because of the cost of steel and other materials. So it's very difficult to build one to begin with. But what this regulation would do would stop it altogether.
But coal is cheap.
Coal is absolutely it's the cheapest form. Our cheapest material, I guess, for producing electricity. Yes, we have wind, but wind is not free because we have to pay for the turbines and the material, and it takes a large.
Constant.
It's right. It's not constant, and it takes a very large land mass to build enough windmills, to generate electricity.
Somebody was talking one time about wind, and I said, "Well, you can't fly a kite every day of the week."
No.
Well, what do you do on those days when you can't?
That's right. And there's only certain areas of the United States, like northeast Missouri, where northwest Missouri, where we actually have some wind farms. Kansas, Oklahoma, a few places.
I know there's some southern California, because I've seen them out around 29 Palms, California.
Well, in mid-Illinois, if you go drive through mid-Illinois on 55, you'll see tons of them.
Well, if they're wanting to do away with these coal plants like this, then what are they supposed to burn to make electricity?
Well, we won't burn anything, really. I mean, we'll be forced to build different types of plants, like a gas plant, for instance.
Okay.
We do have some. For instance, there's one near Essex, Missouri. Not Essex, Missouri, but Essex, Missouri, down near our area. Gas right now is pretty cheap, but we're already starting to see gas prices. Propane's not cheap. Propane's not cheap, but natural gas is.
Right.
And what we're seeing is we're already seeing that begin to increase a little bit. And now, imagine if we start building all of these gas plants. Well, that means the demand goes up.
The price will go up.
Exactly. And so we'll see the price go up. So basically what this boils down to, and I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to debate global warming. But what I will talk about is economics, and what I know is that we have members right now that are struggling, especially right now with as cold as it's been, to pay their bills. Single mothers, with children trying to make ends meet. The mom and pop businesses out there, they're trying to make ends meet. Missouri enjoys some of the lowest electrical rates in the United States. And right now we're under 9 cents per kilowatt hour. And I talked to other co-ops around the country, and some of them are at 20, 30 cents per kilowatt hour.
Oh my gosh, I can imagine.
Hawaii is at 54 cents per kilowatt hour.
Great googly.
So can you imagine, going from under 9 cents per kilowatt hour for SEMO Electric Co-op members to about 20 cents to 30 cents per kilowatt hour? It would be devastating to our economy.
You're using a language that most of us don't understand, because it's easy for me to go to the gas pump and I can put out 9 cents worth of gasoline, okay? But now, how is that? I know it's measured by a meter, but give me for instance, if all you gave me was that 9 cents worth of kilowatt hour, how much electricity would that last me? And what could I do with that? Light a flashlight?
Well, I mean, it depends what you're doing. Let's talk about space heaters.
Okay.
Space heaters use about 1,500 kilowatts. If I run a space heater, for instance, all day, every day, 24/7, that's going to cost me about $100 a month.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's under our current rate structure.
Yeah.
So if I were to pay our rate now at 20 to 30 cents per kilowatt hour, that same heater is now going to cost me about $300 to $400 a month.
Now, what can we do? Now, I know that there's a website that we can go to, because we're talking about the EPA. That's a pretty big monster.
Absolutely.
And it's a bunch of us little people that's going to need to put that monster under control.
Absolutely. And so what we're asking people to do is to go to action.coop and to go there, and you can put your name in. And even if you're not a member of SEMO Electric Cooperative, you can go there and just put SEMO Electric Cooperative, and then ask you where you're from, Missouri, and then pick our state,
okay,
and pick SEMO Electric Cooperative. That's fine. And basically, what we do is we send a letter to the EPA on your behalf that tells the EPA that you do not want these regulations, that you want rates basically to stay where they are, and that letter goes to the EPA.
How long does that take?
Oh, a matter of seconds. I mean, you go to the website.
I'm going to do it right now.
All right, go ahead.
Can I do that?
Absolutely. Go to action.coop.
All right, now this is when your computer has a tendency to monkey down on you, which mine does whenever you put it to task like this. All right, so I'm assuming www. Dot what?
Action.coop. C-O-O-P.
See, action.coop.
Right.
All right. Action Cooperative. All right. NRECA?
Yep.
Is that it? Okay. No, it's searching there.
Oh, you Googled.
Yeah.
What'd you Google?
I did. Well, all right. NRECA. Okay. What do I do now? Contact the Environmental Protection Agency now.
There you go.
All right. I'll punch on that. Tell the EPA America needs a common sense solution. That's pretty easy right there. So there it is.
There it is.
Okay. I got everything I need to do right there. Well, that's easy enough.
Type in your name.
Yeah.
Pick Missouri as your state.
Yeah.
Pick SEMO Electric Cooperative.
Okay.
Hit send, and you're done.
Oh, look at that. All right. I'm going to do that right now. Can I? All right. I type in my name if I can remember how to spell it. Put in my email address. Okay. And I'll do this right here. And this one. And it's pretty simple, actually.
Right.
Now, what's this letter doing? And I'm going to interrupt you whenever I'm completed with this. But what is this doing once I've found my location?
Well, what's happening is the EPA is taking basically comments until around June, I believe, if I'm correct, it's June, and then they'll decide whether to enact the regulations.
Okay.
And so we're trying to send as many letters as we can to the EPA saying, no, we don't want these regulations. If and when they enact the regulation, then the fight will continue and we'll go to Congress.
Done. I didn't have to sign up for anything
nope.
either.
And actually, don't even have to put your email address in. A lot of people are leery about putting email addresses in. I know I am. Actually, I have two email addresses. The one that is my email address, and the one is my dummy one. When I sign up for stuff, that's the one I use. So you don't even have to put your email address in if you don't want to. Just your name, pick Missouri, pick SEMO Electric Cooperative, and then click send, and that's it, and you're done.
Okay. All right. Well, that was easy enough there.
Absolutely.
All right, real quick, let's talk about the high bills.
Yeah.
A lot of folks are hurting right now.
I tell you what, we're absolutely concerned about our members.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of days where it was single-digit temperatures, a lot of nights under 32 degrees, under freezing. And what that does, that makes our heating units work overtime.
Right.
And like I said before, we have members who are struggling to make it. And when we add some extremely cold weather into the mix, February is just about to start, and that's typically our coldest month.
Right.
And so we're just asking members to try to remember to conserve as much as you can. Allow the natural sunlight during the day when the sun is out to heat your home. Open up the blinds a little bit. Close them in the nighttime. Turn your heat down just a little bit. 1 to 2 degrees can make a difference. Put on some heavy clothing. Cover up at night. Do whatever you got to do, and try to conserve as much as possible. And then we're also telling our members to check into budget billing, which is a way to have levelized billing basically throughout the year, so it's not fluctuating so much. That can really help out a family.
Yeah, because we're just not coming out of Christmas, and a lot of us are kind of strapped for cash, and it's hard to get the hit with that big bill.
Well, and the economy is not the best it's ever been anyway. A lot of people are struggling, and we just are concerned about our members. And if our members we have information at our offices in Sykeston and Bloomfield that can possibly help them save some money, and also we can have people come to their homes and talk to them about how to save energy.
SEMOelectric.com, is it where
GoSEMO.com is our web address.
Okay.
And you can go there or stop by our office in Sykeston or Bloomfield.
Okay.
And we'd be happy to help our members any way that we can.
All right. Glenn, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Nice sharing the microphone with you again. Oh, my gosh. So we've got some pretty funny stories.
No stories.
I remember one year you and I went to Missouri Broadcasters Association.
Right.
And we happened to share the same room.
Right.
I got sick. I had a heck of a cold. Do you remember?
I remember that.
Oh my gosh. I spent the week in bed.
Yeah.
I was absolutely
We hardly
sick.
saw you at all at any of the meetings or anything.
And then you got sick.
But then I got sick. Yeah. But I got sick when I went home. You were fine going home. I was getting sick on the way home. Yeah, so my wife really appreciated that.
Well, tell Mindy I said hi.
I will.
All right. The kids, too.
I will.
Gosh, it's hard for me to even picture you having kids.
Hey, one graduates next year.
No, wait. You
Yes.
could have gone all day without telling me that. All right. Thank you, Glenn. I appreciate it. Glenn Cantrell, SEMO Electric. All right, I got NBC News Radio on the way on Pure Country, C106.1.
KWKZ, Charleston.